Hey, Jack Squad. Jack Squad, what's going on? I hope y'all can see me. So this is going to be my first time using my StreamYard. So y'all come on up in here. Let me see how I could do this. Okay. Hey, Sparkle. Come on up in here, Jack Squad. Let me see something. I need y'all to say something when y'all get in here. That's what I need y'all to do. Let me see. Let me see if I can see what's happening. Hey, y'all, come on through. Okay. Okay, yeah. All right. Did it freeze? It looks like it's froze. Hold on, let me turn my volume down. I'm trying to check something, y'all. Y'all know I'm IT and everything, right? Okay. I'm IT and everything. Okay, let me see now. Okay. All right. Hey, Kay. What's going on, Kay? Okay, so child, my system is doing funny stuff. Hey, so Kay, this is my first hand at tea. What's going on? Y'all in here? Come on through, y'all. I'm trying, y'all. Y'all see my little background and everything. I'm in the living room, in the grand room. I'm in the grand room, right? Okay. So I'm trying to see how I look. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm proud of myself. Yay. Hey, y'all, what's going on? Listen. So today, let me tell y'all this. I got some announcements. We got some housekeeping. So I'm gonna say this again at 8:00, but for right now, I'm saying it right now, right? Okay, okay. So I am going to be live, and I'm telling y'all this so y'all can hold me accountable. T. Thank you. I am. Hey, Queen. I discovered this. I discovered this after the members live. I discovered this little ditty right here, right? Hey, Arhiel. So I will be going live every day except Sunday. Every day. Monday through Saturday at noon. Unless I got something to do, go to the doctor, something like that. And I'm going to try my best. This is a try my best. I got to give my all to the YouTube, right? And at 8:00, except for Thursday. Some Thursdays I'm going to be outside. I'm going to tell y'all that now. Some Thursdays I'm going to be outside. But for right now, I'm going live. This week, I'm not going live Thursday because I'm going to be outside. Hey, Neek. But I'm going live as much as I possibly can. Let me just say this, right? And the reason being, remember I told you I was going to stop going live at noon, right? Well, God didn't want that to happen for me. So I have been trying to change my schedule at work and get more hours so I can do some things, right? Book is complete. We're going to talk about that later. It's going to take me a while before I get it edited, and that's a process. But anyway, the writing part is complete. So I no longer need to be off all week, right? So I have been applying for the last 6 weeks to get a shift change so I can get more hours. No. They kept denying me. Well, one of my coworkers said after 6 times, you have to go to HR and then they'll do it. So I went to HR Thursday and explained my situation because I can't live. I'm a grown woman with just a little bit of change. And the very next day, they had changed my schedule, y'all. So no more Sundays. I can go to church on Sunday. I'm happy about that. And I can make me some money so I can do some things that I need to do for myself, y'all. So God is working for me, right? Let me tell y'all this one more thing, too. I got to tell y'all. Testimony, right? So because I know that I'm going to be working more, I was doing my budget so that I can see when I'll be able to get me a car and do the things with my book and all this stuff, right? All that costs money. Before I could finish with my notes in my phone, because I was laying in bed before I wrote them down, before I could finish and hit thanks, Nick, and hit finish my note, right? Hit save. my cousin texted me and said, my other cousin, they in Atlanta, right? My other cousin is selling his daughter's car. I'm telling you, I just did my note, right? Then she tell me, now this is my same cousin. She's older than me, always looked out for me, that I told y'all about the money. So then she said, my aunt, who helped raise me, she could hear her say, help her, right? So now I called my cousin. He said, yeah, he got the car. They were selling it for this price. They're going to sell it for another price to me, family discount. So my cousin said she would probably help me. So y'all just pray for me, because things is lining up for me. They lining up for me. And the blessings is falling and dropping and carrying on. So y'all just pray for me. So that's my testimony for the day. Anyway, we're going to talk about, it is a blessing. We're going to talk about today. I want to talk about, because this was something that devastated me when I was in a relationship with my narcissist. And it's called sudden emotional detachment. And it's sudden because you don't know it's coming. You ain't had an argument. You don't know what happened. In your mind, nothing has happened. And this is a very narcissistic trait. This is their behavior. The sudden emotional detachment. For somebody like me or most women, we love our man. We like to be with our man. Matter of fact, T, you and your dude look so cute together. Anyway, so I started researching this, as y'all know, a few years ago, right? So sudden emotional detachment, let me tell you what the experts say. Narcissists have a distinctive strategy. They start off as seemingly the perfect partner in the first week of dating. And that's no lie. That's part of that love bombing, right? They flatter you, build you up, and make you feel validated and special. Then they suddenly become cold and distant towards you. They tear down your self-confidence with their unhealthy cycle of manipulation. And it is a cycle because you go up and you go down if you allow it, right? But because your mindset is not like theirs, you try to figure it out, right? Let me tell you what the people say. Be mindful of emotional detachment. This is the most telling sign of a narcissist, the most. But it is unfortunately, this is the part right here, only apparent when you have already entered into their cycle of manipulation. You're already in it. When they start this, you already in it. They already got you captivated, right? Know that narcissists constantly create drama to get your attention, and they'll blame the drama on you. Narcissists are both survivalists and predatory by nature. Their goal is to create an ongoing channel that draws your energy from you. So they're like succubuses, right? In my relationship, it was, we're going to build you up. We're having so much fun. I'm doing all these things for you. So excited. You're on a high. Every day you're on a high, right? They do that for a while. So now you are confident in this relationship. This is my man, baby. We going forever and ever, right? Well, hey, Angel. Thank you. And so then and I remember my ex, and I told y'all this before, but it's very important that I say this. When we first started dating, within that first week or two, I had made a conscious decision and said, Jackie, do not be clingy, because I had a tendency of being clingy. Not so much because I need you, because I want you around me, right? I said, Jackie, don't call him, don't do this, don't do that. I'm having conscious conversations with myself, right? So I told y'all the very first week, he took me to meet my mechanic and he paid for the car and this and that. So while I was at the mechanic getting my car fixed, I didn't call him. I didn't say, hey, I'm here. I didn't do any of those things. I probably hadn't talked to him in a few hours or whatever. And he pulled up on me and said, what you doing? Where you been? You know, you got to call me. He made a point to say, call me so that I'll know where you at. He was genuinely interested in what I wanted and that he was concerned about my well-being. So as a woman, we want that. We want somebody to be concerned about us. We want somebody to cover us, right? Well, I remember that. And I said to myself, okay, he said this. He said, call him because he wants to know. And I remember the feeling I had like, ooh, he liked me. He liked me. Now, we ain't in the love phase, but he liked me. He liked me. He said, call him. I remember this, and it's prevalent to me because I had conscious decisions of do not get on this nigga nerve, right? I'm a grown woman. Don't get on his nerves. You see him when you see him. He'll call you when he call you. That's how I went into this thinking, right? Until he changed the narrative, right? Okay. All right. So by the time you realize something's going on, something's not even something going on, you be like, well, he told me to do this. You're in the cycle. You're spinning the wheel like a hamster. You're in the cycle. You don't understand, right? You have no understanding. And they keep you in this state of confusion. Like in my mind, I don't know how anybody could purposely be like this, but they are, right? Hence, we wouldn't be talking about it. But they constantly keep you in a state of confusion, right? For me and my ex, I didn't work as well as he wanted me to work. I didn't fit into the profile, not really, because I'm so headstrong and so different, right? So that created a lot of conflict down the line, because I'm just simply being me, and he wanted me to be somebody else, right? And I wasn't aware that he wanted me to be somebody else. I'm just being me, doing what I've always done in respect to him, right? The first time, like I said, that he disappeared, I'm going to call it disappear because he did that through the years, right? And it was the first, let me say this, it was probably the first 5 years. It wasn't forever. Because at some point I didn't give a fuck, right? But he definitely did it within that first year. I want to say he did it within that first, maybe not the first year. He did. I just don't remember. The time that I remember, we was into the couple of years. We was into it, right? We had been together for a while. And the time that I can remember is I was so shocked. I thought something had happened to him. Oh my God, is he at the hospital? What has happened? Where is he? And I immediately go to somewhere where I knew he would be, where his friends were. And he was outside just laughing and giggling like nothing had happened until he saw me. And then his whole demeanor changed, right? And I did not understand that, y'all. I did not understand what was happening. That's the state of confusion. I didn't, you the last time I saw you, okay, babe, see you back, give you a kiss, I didn't understand, right? The whole time I was with this man, the whole 10 plus years, he was plotting against me for his own demonic gain. That's the best way I can say it, because he took pleasure in my pain. So that's demonic, right? And the very first time that happened, I didn't understand. And it happened several other times too. But then it became the norm. And it didn't really faze me. He'll be back, right? Until I said, that's enough. And he still came back. Because he came back with like Santa Claus. I'm going to do this, that, and that, right? When the regular, whatever he would say didn't work, then he would do more, right? But that always shocked me. And that's when I realized I had abandonment issues, because it would do something to my spirit. And I can't describe it to y'all. I can't describe it to anybody. He would do something to my spirit. And I didn't like the way it felt. I can't explain what it felt like when he would say, I don't want you no more. It would tear me up, like my insides was tearing up, right? And that's when I realized I don't like for people to leave me, because everybody that had always, my childhood people was leaving me, right? How long would he? Not long, child, not long. Not long. It would be various. Might be a couple of days. But see what I would do initially, because I didn't know. Like if I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't do that. I would be looking for him, like calling him. I would be like, you all right? The first couple of times, is he all right? What's going on? And I called his friend one time. And I would never, ever do this again. I would never do any of the things I did with him ever again. But remember, I thought he was the one. I thought God had sent him. I called his friend. And his friend said some shit to me like, maybe he don't want you. Now, mind you, this is the friend that would come over every day and, hey, Jackie, and, say nice things to me and stuff like that. His friend said, maybe he don't want you. Or something to that effect. Would sent off red flags and bells and shit. Like, why would he say that? Did he tell you something? You know something I don't know? I'll never forget that, right? He said, maybe he don't want you. Now, mind you, this is the person that would come over every day and praise me. You look so good. You're so wonderful. You a good girl. Y'all good together. Da 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 da. And then in my mind, both of them became my enemies. It did. Because I was like, why would he say that? You know, I'm calling him for, I guess, some compassion. You know, this is a person that would come by often and praise me and be nice to me. And I would, you know, I'm calling you for compassion. Like, where is he? What's going on? Do you know anything? Is you know? And he bluntly said, with no emotion, maybe he don't like you. Sure did. I never liked him after that either. I never liked him anymore after that. And you know what? This particular friend, y'all, he could not see. My ex could not see that this guy was jealous of him. Now, and I told him once, and he said, jealous of what? He got this, he got that. Yes, he got a house. This was before I bought my house. Matter of fact, this was in the first year. This was in the first year he did that. That's right, because I wasn't in my house yet. He had a house. I think he had some sort of little business or something, right, with his wife. Now, mind you, I never saw the wife. I had never saw the wife. It was years before I saw the wife, right? And I would tell him that this dude was jealous. It's like, he got a caddy, he got this, he got that. He got that's what he had. He had a group home. So he had a business with his wife. He had stuff going on, right? And he was like, why would he be jealous of me? And sometimes people are jealous of you, not because of what you have, but who you are, your character, who you are, right? And I told him that because I could see it, right? Even though they've been friends for years and this and that, I could see it, right? And after he made that comment, I really saw it, right? And do you know when I saw the wife? When I saw the wife, y'all want to know what she looked like when I saw the wife? The wife was a big old fat white woman. A big fat white woman. He'd been with for years. And he always bragged on his wife. So I was anxious to see the wife, but I didn't see her for years. It was years before I saw the wife. Might have been years 6 or 7. It was years before I saw the wife, right? Because he didn't carry around. You know, when he would be out and about, he'd be with himself, right? It was years before I saw the wife. She was a big fat white woman. And I said to myself, that's why he was jealous. He wanted what he had. Not saying he wanted me. He wanted that, what we had. Because from the outside, we looked perfect from the outside, right? He had a big fat white woman, sure did. Explain where he had been. No, he would never. He was a liar, so he probably lied about something. He was a liar, you know, and he had his own place, so he could easily just go home, right? And I had no keys to his house, so he could just easily go home. And he lived in an apartment building, so you know, if the door is locked, you know, he was in a secure building, so you know, if he don't answer the buzzer, that's that, right? So he would never say, or he would say that he was gambling. You know, he gambled. And you know that when people gamble, if y'all know anything about gamblers, they gamble all night. They can gamble for hours, days, you know. And so he would say he was gambling, right? And so when it was early on in the relationship, I didn't know all the people that he gambled with. I know them all now, you know, as years went on. But initially, I didn't know these people. So, of course, I wasn't going to go over there. I wasn't going to ask him. You know, I wasn't going to do any of that stuff to verify, you know, if that's where he was, right? But a lot of the times, now that I know he's a narcissist, a lot of the times I think he was just in his house and wanted to mess with me like that. Or he might have had a woman in there, or he may have been gambling sometime, right? But a lot of times he just didn't want to be bothered, or he didn't want to be bothered. He wanted to do what he was doing to me mentally. That's what he wanted to do. Hey, T-Pal. Be serious. Sometimes would be home to, yeah. And he would stay out, you know, they would stay out to breakfast. And when they finished, go to breakfast. He'd call me and be like, we down at such and such. Come get some breakfast, you know. So after a while, it didn't faze me because that was his life. It didn't really faze me, right? But it would be the sudden, we having a good time, especially during the time when I was buying my house and then after it was bought and we was put it together and I had workers over there, you know, different stuff was going on, right? And he would disappear with no warning. I remember one time several times. You know, he might give me $500 or do something great, and then I don't hear from him no more. And I would call his phone, and I would be so broken, y'all. I would, and then I kept it to myself. I didn't tell people, right? I would keep it to myself. I never told anyone. I would be so broken behind that, right? Like, what is wrong with this dude, right? I would be so broken and didn't understand. Now I read something that said the danger of emotional detachment, right? Now, like I said, for me, because I'm strong, because of all the things I went through prior to him, and I would tell him, unless a woman, you would break her. I can easily, very, very easily see how being with a narcissist can, first of all, their goal is to destroy your self-esteem and your confidence. That's their goal, right? So that then they can manipulate you the way they want to, because you're a shell of yourself. You're nothing. You are what they tear you down to build you up to the way they want you to be, right? It just didn't work for me. And then when I realized what he was doing, still don't know he a narcissist. Didn't know that till a couple years ago. I said, a weaker woman, you would destroy her. You would tear down her self-esteem, right? I would tell him that. And he wouldn't say anything. So I didn't know if he was doing it intentionally or not back then. I now know that he was. And the reason why I say that is because the few women that I saw he had encountered had very, very low self-esteem from the get-go. So it wasn't hard to break them and tear them down, because they had low self-esteem and no confidence in the first place. And the reason why I think that we lasted so long, number one, I thought this was the real thing. I thought I was going to marry him, Why we lasted so long is because he could not break me. He was determined to break me. That's what I think. He was determined to break me, because the few times that I did cry about some type of emotional hurt he gave me, like I told y'all, it would make his dick hard, right? So he wanted to break me. That would have thrilled him to see me broken. It just never happened. It would be temporarily. I might, it would, for a moment or two, shed a tear or two, a couple times or two, but it just never happened. So he was determined to do that. He was determined to do that. That's what his goal was. And when I look at it, when I realized that he was demonic, right? Because who else would go through these lengths and do the things that he did, right? He was demonic. And I said, when I would call him the devil, I meant that, right? And like I said, now that I've read up on it, that's what they are. They're demonic people. They're demonic people. And their goal is to, kill, destroy? Isn't that what the devil do? It just never happened with me. But what he didn't know is I had been through so much shit that this little shit you doing, ain't nothing compared to some of the stuff I had been through, right? So it hurt because I thought he was the love of my life. And so when you with a narcissist, that's how they make you think. We gonna be together. It's me and you, boo. I got you. Especially if he has love bombed you, or continuously, because the love bombing. So for me, he was a provider, and that's how I looked at him, as a provider. He was a man. He was older than me. He was a provider. He know what he's supposed to do. But that's all he did, was financially provide. He could not give me, because they don't have any empathy. He could not give me the emotional support that I needed. Any man I'm with gonna have to give me emotional support, because I am so damaged, right? He couldn't do that for me. He couldn't do that for me. And it was years before I really, really realized it, because he bombarded me with things and things. He bombarded me with things and things. So we didn't have to have those, or he figured we didn't have to have those in-depth conversations about too much of nothing. And when I did try to have those in-depth conversations, is when I told y'all he would be so uncomfortable that he couldn't have them. It was just too uncomfortable. And I didn't understand that, right? So the people say, let me see it was something I wanted to tell y'all. There are clear signs that a couple is heading towards a dangerous emotional detachment. And the sooner they are identified, the better chance a couple has to resolve that breach. So when we got to this point to resolve, let's get to a resolve, he could not. Don't want to resolve, can't resolve. And he never said it, but it meant deal with me the way I am. I know he would tell me things like, don't worry about what I do. Wait, how did he say that? Don't worry about what I'm saying. Watch what I do. I do for you. That shows you that I care. The things that I do should show you that I care. Therefore, don't ask me if I love you. Don't ask me to show you that, don't do any of that. I'm showing you. I can't speak it, but I'm showing you. And why did I accept that? I don't know. I do know that money had a lot to do with it. Money and material things had a lot to do with that. And I just figured, well, this how he is. I know he loved me. Stupid shit that we say as women, right? Now, these are the 10 most important signs of impending or already existing emotional detachment. Let me say this, not I'm good and grown and over that. If you are in a relationship with someone and they are not emotionally attached to you, get the fuck out. Like, ain't no need to have no conversations about it. Now, I take that back. Maybe if you've been with them a while and they seem distant, there's reasons, and I'm going to say the reasons. Some of those are reasons, and they're not necessarily because they're not narcissists. That ain't always the case. They could be depressed. It could be a lot of things. But for me, if it goes on too long, and you're not expressing yourself to me, and you're not telling me what's wrong so that we can fix it or I can understand it, well, ain't no need us being in a relationship. What we in a relationship for? Because a relationship is a partnership. And when you look at it like that, which I never really looked at it like that, that's probably why none of mine succeeded. It's a partnership, right? I'm here for you and you're here for me. And if that does not happen, go ahead on. Because it's not going to work, right? You can be in a relationship for a lot of different reasons. But for me, at this stage of the game, you got to I need your emotions. I need you to love me and comfort me and tell me it's going to be all right and come up with some solutions when we got some problems and so on and so forth. So that's what I need, right? So one of the signs is they lessen availability. So if somebody tell you, for me, it was like, call me, babe, call me, let me know where you at, what you're doing, if you're all right. I need to know if you're all right. And then you don't answer your phone. What the fuck is that, right? Number 2 is disappearing without informing. That used to crush me, y'all. I had no understanding. And, I take blame for a lot of this because a lot of this happened in the first year, right? But also, I was in the process of buying a home with him, right? This is something that I had wanted my whole life, my own home. So do I kill that dream of the home ownership with somebody? Do I kill that dream when I was like, what do I do? Right? We actively looking for houses. We putting money towards this. Like we were in motion, right? So I'm thinking to myself, and I always wanted a home for my kids to have a home. So and the home was all I needed. That's all I ever wanted was my own house, right? Hey, classy boots. And so it was, if I ended with him, I kill my dream at the moment. Now remember, back then I didn't think ahead. I thought right now at the moment, right? I'm thinking at the moment. I didn't think, okay, Jack, you can do this by yourself, right? I didn't think like that. My brother gave me all the tools. I knew what I needed to know. I just needed his money, right? So instead of me saying, forget him, I wanted that Black American dream of home ownership. And mind you, now this is still the first year. We're going to get married. Right? So the disappearing without informing me was put you in a lot of turmoil. I put it like that. It put you in a lot. Disconnecting with no emotional forwarding address or being able to be found can be clear indicators that something is amiss. Why didn't I realize something was amiss, y'all? Why? Smart as I am. Why? So that's why when I watched that lady, Jillian, right? I looked at Risa Tisa, we all know that, and then I watched Jillian last week over the weekend or whatever. The problem, this is why I didn't think it was me, because the problem with a lot of these relationships that go bad with narcissists and liars, because we go too fast, right? Now, I didn't go fast. I didn't think I did. But my ex, he didn't move in 2 weeks and none of that shit, right? But what I noticed about these TikTok and these social media ladies is after the second week or the first date, y'all together. Y'all living together. That's way, 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 way too soon, right? Now, in my case, he had his own place, so I ain't worried about you trying to live with me because he had his own place. We would go back and forth, right? We would go back and forth. But I don't know why I did not end that, right? Because there was a lot of red flags. But number one, he looked the way I wanted him to look. He was attractive. He was dark. He was tall. He was handsome. He dressed well. I thought he was well spoken, but that was a facade, right? He was kind. He was giving. He was a provider. So all of that was enough because it was surface. What I saw was the surface. I didn't dig deep. So I feel as much like I'm blaming these ladies for 2 weeks. It's too soon to be moving somebody in. I blame myself too because all I knew was him surfacely, right? And this is why when I meet guys now and I date them now, I go get real intense real quick. I need to know this, and that because I'm not going to let that happen to me again. Hence why I've been single so long. Because people are liars. Men are liars. And men will tell you, if you talk to a man long enough, he'll tell you what you want to hear. They'll tell you what you want to hear, right? Because they're listening so that they can be who you want them to be and they can trick you, right? Especially if they're narcissists. Not all men are narcissists. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying we have to do our due diligence, and you cannot jump into a relationship. Now, I didn't jump into this, but I sort of kind of did, even though he lived in his house and I lived in mine. In my mind, we was together, right? In my mind, we together because that's the way he treated me. Right? Another sign of the emotional detachment is when they give short answers, quick answers, and it seems like you're getting on their nerves. How you doing today? I'm all right. What you doing? Nothing. All of that, that's an emotional detachment, right? True enough, everybody don't have good days, you know. Everybody, I have a piece of hair in my mouth. Everybody don't have good days, right? But I think in your relationship, let me see how I put this. In your relationship, you should be able to say, I ain't doing good today. I need a minute. Am I right or am I wrong, y'all? But I think, like T, you married, K, you married. I think anybody else is married in a relationship, I think you should, even if you, and when you're not your greatest and you feeling whatever you feeling, I think it's a courtesy and I think it's okay to say, give me a moment, I ain't cool. Am I right, y'all? Not be dismissive and mean. I don't think this is just me and I live in fairy tale land. I don't think you should ever be blatantly mean to your partner. I just don't. You should be able to say, but I ain't doing good today because they're your partner, right? But I ain't doing good today. I'm gonna be off to myself because I'm a Pisces. I can be off to myself naturally, right? So, am I right or am I wrong, y'all? Is that normal, right? Because I live in a fairy tale land in my head, and I think everything should go the way it's supposed to go. You're right, because when my husband is snappy, I get mad. Right. Because it begets that. You know what I'm saying? So if you just tell me, babe, give me a minute, I'm gonna give you that minute. This is how I would like to think, right? And if I'm feeling that way, I'm gonna tell my husband my man as my provider, my comforter. He should say, "Okay, babe, give me a hug," and say, "Okay, babe, holler at me when you're done, and then go on about his business somewhere." Right? Your mother Pisces, she's cool, right? Because I like to think, like I know Pisces. I know a few. I didn't really start meeting Pisces till later on, last few years or so. But Pisces are two-sided, which I guess most people are. But like, there's the sociable me, and then there's the introverted me, right? I can be very much introverted. She cool, yeah, we cool because we like everybody. We like everybody, right? And sometimes that can be to your detriment. But shit, I can't help who I am. I like everybody. Hey, you my friend now. You know what I'm saying? I think that's normal, but most people don't know how to manage their emotions correctly. That is true. That is true. I have somebody that's very dear to me that cannot manage their emotions, and I do not know what to do to help them. And it just dawned on me within the last 6 months that they can't manage their emotions. I don't know how to fix them. Do you tell them to go to therapy? I know that's one option, but what if they don't want to do that? Because they cannot functionally be around people for too long, or a situation gonna happen, right? And it come to me that they can't manage their emotions. That's a very important part of adulthood. I match energy. My husband's, is he? And very emotional. He responds better with not exactly. We do because you know what happens for me. I know, and it took me years to realize this. If you yell at me, it triggers me, and it's going to take me in the wrong direction. If you speak to me gently and nicely, we get much more. Because if you yell and holler and do all that, it's going to take me up. It's going to take me up top, right? And then once I go up there, it's hard for me to get back down. I know that about myself. It took me years to realize that because I'm so mellow all the time. And people will take advantage of you. Like my ex took advantage of me because I'm mellow all the time, right? And I let a lot of shit go over my head, go over my head, go over my head. I'm aware of it, but I'm letting it go over my head. Is your husband like that? I'm aware of things. I just let it go over my head because I ain't getting ready to argue and cuss and fuss about that right now. Because when I get to level 10, shit, it ain't no coming back, right? So I don't like the way that feels. So I try not to do that. And so what happens is people who know you, and it'll be the people that know and care and love you, they will take you there because they know you ain't gonna say nothing. They'll keep walking over you till you cut off their head. Now you're in shock that I done cut your head off, but you done did it 20 times. I'm a Capricorn. I have to remember he's not as abrasive. He does not like to argue at all. Yeah, that's me. I will. But it took me years to get to that point, right? Because I didn't like to argue. I still don't like to argue. But what I would do, I would be in defense mode. So I would hit you. I would be violent. I was very aggressive, right? So if you make me angry, I'm going to be aggressive. We're going to be very aggressive, right? Not going to argue. Ain't going to be no too long arguing and shit because that don't work for me, right? So yeah. That's good. I'm an even keeled person, and you have to do a whole bunch to get me off kilter. A whole bunch, because I'm just gonna let it go. I'm the type of person I could be mad at you, and then next time I see you, hey, give you a hug and start talking. Then I get home and like, damn, I wasn't supposed to say none of them. Because that's just how I am, right? And people who know you and study you, such as your man or your spouse, they know these things about you, so they know they'll keep poking until they get the right button, right? Oh, here they go. Number 3, the bad responses: facial expression of disgust or impatience, voice tones that are harsh and rejecting. And he did that so well, y'all. He could hurt my feelings, and all the time I didn't show that my feelings was hurt, but he could hurt my feelings with the look and the harshness. Yeah, a physical distance. Now I don't know. My Wi-Fi just blanked out for a minute, y'all. But yeah, that was him, right? And and then when somebody do that to you, you retreat, right? You like go into a shell, and then he come around, hey, baby, what's happening? And it's like, so I would just go with it because that's my personality. Just go with the flow, right? I'm a go with the flow kind of girl. Number 4 sign that they're disconnecting is preoccupation. They ain't got no time for you. They ain't got no time for you. They busy doing something else, which is probably nothing. But they want you to think that they're busy doing something else. They're busy. They're busy. That's what they're doing. Preoccupation that lasts and deepens can be caused by many things, some of which may not even be related to the other partner. They just busy. You don't fit in. I have been places with my ex, and he be acting like I wasn't even there. The problem is that the preoccupied partner is not sharing or including the other. When that happens, it is only natural for one excluded partner to feel more and more shut out, wondering not only what is going on, but fearing the worst. And a lot of times, before I got a hold of myself, I was always in fear of him leaving me. That would be a fear. Now, why would you be with somebody and you think they're gonna go? Fuck that. Just let them go, right? I'm telling you, this person that took me out of my character, all because, let me explain something to y'all. At the time when I met him, I was in a transition, right? And I think they know and they can feed off you and all that kind of stuff, right? Because they're vultures, they're vampires, energy vampires. And I was in a transition of not drinking, not smoking cigarettes, no drugs, all of that. I was in a transitional phase, right? And he knew that. And so he was very predatory. I was ripe for the picking. Right? I just wasn't as weak as he thought I was, but I was ripe for the picking. And I don't want to go too much because I'm going to tell it all in my book and explain it all, but I was ripe for the picking. I was ripe for a narcissistic individual, right? Also, a number 5 is others matter more. They want you to think that somebody else is more important than you. Why? I don't know. But they want to, somebody else need them more than you do, right? So if a partner stops talking to you while if they shutting out somebody else, okay, that's a problem. I mean, they're dealing with something internally. But if they shut you out and let others in, then the problem is with you, right? And I noticed that. I got a story to tell, but I'm gonna wait and put it in my book because there's a lot of spicy information, a lot of spicy things happening. And when I think back on it, like, why did I do this? But the reason why, again, a lot of shit happened that first year. I should have just cut him loose. Right? But I was so attached at that moment, at that point, and the possibility of I had went through a storm, right? That's what I'm telling you, I was vulnerable. I had went through a storm alone, and I had decided to change my life totally, right? So I was again in that transitional phase, and he picked up on that, right? He picked up on that. So the stuff he was saying and doing to me, had I not been in the position that I was in and in the phase that I was in, it wouldn't have worked, right? But because I was very vulnerable, and very so much, I'm changing my life, God. I probably told y'all this before. I had a conversation with God during this transitional phase, and I said, well, Lord, I don't want to do this by myself. I had a conversation with God. I don't want to do this by myself. Send me somebody. because I was going through this turmoil and this storm. And he said, if I get you out, what you gonna do for me? And that's when I said, okay, I'm gonna stop drinking, drugging, smoking cigarettes. I'm gonna stop doing all that stuff. And then Buddy came along. So I'm thinking this was God's reward. This was God's reward for me changing my life. Him was God's reward. And it wasn't until years later, hey, India, it wasn't until years later, a guy that liked me told me, the devil give you what you want to. I never thought about that shit. I never thought he came from the devil. I was like, shit, God rewarded me this man. It's up to me to change him and fix myself. And so that's where I was at. And that's why he was able to do the things that he did, y'all. Because I'm thinking he was from God and God was trying to teach me a lesson because I had been so mean and so not nice to me in my past. I said, okay, God put me through a test. That's why I stayed so long. Now, the people here say that a number 7 sign is depression. If my narcissist didn't get depressed, he might have been, but I doubt it. Someone that is non-narcissist, I'm going to say, a sign of disconnect is they are depressed. That's normal for people who are depressed to disconnect from people. That's normal. So we're going to skip past that one because this nigga was not depressed. Another sign of disconnection and detachment is infidelity, which he was a cheater, right? He was a cheater. And I don't know how often he cheated, but I think he cheated lots of times with, one-time cheater. What got messed up was when he got in a relationship with somebody. He was relating towards the end. He was in a relationship with a woman. But all the other times he cheated, it was a hit it and quit it, I'm pretty sure. But she was this person that he cheated with and got in a relationship with was so needy and broken. So broken. She was homeless, right? So she fit better into the profile of what he wanted because she could look up to him. When he could do little things for her and she would be so grateful for it. As for me, I was on a whole different scale. You got to buy me a house. You got to do this. You got to do that. With her, you just get a couple cigarettes and she was grateful for that, right? So it was a whole different scale, right? So infidelity was definitely in our relationship. Definitely. But because in my mind, they're not getting what I get. He cheated, you cheated, you was out all night. Okay, cool. I don't, all right, we're going to argue about it and it's going to be over. You're going to do something great and then it's over with. Hey, Bobo Anderson. Bobo Anderson said, man, please. Okay. Well, I'm just telling you my story, right? You got a story you like to share? Or are you the invisible dude? I'm sure you're a dude, right? I always wonder why when people get on here, I don't do it. I watch people all the time. But when people get on and then it's always a man that got something negative to say about a woman. Now, I ain't scared of you, Bobo. I'm just saying what I'm saying, right? Now, in a minute, my squad going to delete you. But I always, when a woman, Black women are the least protected, right? You have no understanding, and that's probably because you one of them dudes. Yeah, a couple cigarettes. You didn't have to give her much, and she was happy with it, right? And I know this because already gone, already did. Okay, all right, okay, all right. Because I was going to tell him a few things, because I ain't. Listen, nigga, I said what I said. This is my story. Get you a channel and tell your story, right? Hey, Golden. It has been a minute, Golden. What's going on? Yeah, but he didn't have to give her much. I required much more. So, of course, now you can't take her nowhere. He couldn't take her nowhere and parade her around like he did me. Definitely couldn't take her in front of his family and friends. But, he didn't have to do much for her. I required too much. And she made his ego, it's an ego thing, right? Yeah, Bobo. Listen, y'all, I done got my, I'm updating and upgrading. I ain't studying these Negroes. If you don't like me, you don't like me. Just, I don't care. You listening? Good. So, I'm trying to upgrade, Queen. That's where I'm at. This is my first day of the StreamYard. This is let me tell y'all this, y'all. So I am, maybe by the end of the day, I'm a few subscribers from 8,400. Remember, I just had 8,000 the other day, right? 8,400. My channel is growing and growing, and I so appreciate you guys. Everybody for watching, everybody for listening, everybody for doing whatever they're doing, because you don't have to do it, right? You don't have to do that. And I'm proud of myself because this is not easy, right? And I'm learning as I go. So I appreciate y'all for hanging on in there with me, right? Because let me tell y'all, after I did the members live, I did a drive run with the StreamYard with my members, Thursday, Friday, whatever day that was, right? And I discovered when I finished that I can get a background. I was like, oh, now I got to confer with my IT girl, T, because I need to do some stuff and I can create my own backgrounds and add them on here. This is the background that they offered, right? Child, I was so thrilled about that. Right? So y'all gonna see this one for a while until I figure out how to get my own, put it in my folder and do all that stuff. I ain't gonna do that right now. Right now, I'm just going to focus on what I got right now, right? My sister-in-law. Hey, sis, I love you too. Hey, sis. This is my sister-in-law, y'all. This is my little sis. This is will forever be my sister-in-law. I don't care who she married, who she with. This is my nieces and nephews' mama. I've been knowing her since she was a kid. This is my sister-in-law. What's going on, baby? I love you too. You like the virtual liver? I do too, right? So what I'm gonna do though, I'm gonna switch it up, but not right now. So I ain't gonna carry myself too fast, right? Thank you, sis. Since you know I had a birthday, child. You know I had a birthday. Child, I'm getting older and older. I'm about to cry. Charmaine is my girl, y'all. This is my sister-in-law forever. Y'all know how somebody, I've been knowing her since she was about 14, I think. 14. It was all young. 14, 12, 13, 14, right? And my youngest brother, this is his kid's mom. And I done watched her grow and grow into the phenomenal woman that she is. You know what? It's so funny that you on here. I thought about you last night. I think I dreamed about you for a little bit last night, right? Or either you was just in my thoughts. That's so funny that you did that. See how God doing? I'm aging gracefully. Thank you, child. Thank you. Creating your own background. Yeah, because I'm going to call you later on today or tomorrow. I'm taking advantage of, I'm off. This is my last week off. I'm going to be working every day, but not as, it's a different thing, y'all. I'm so happy y'all just don't know what to do. But yeah, because remember, T, how you showed me how to do something and put it in my folder and all that? That's what I got to do. But like I said, I ain't going to carry myself too fast. I'm going to give myself a day to enjoy this. And then maybe tomorrow I get with that because I want to change my, want to have the ability to change my background, right? Yeah, so that's what I want to do. So yeah, y'all, I'm talking about, being with that narcissist. And I didn't know he was a narcissist. It was quite a challenge, right? But one of the most challenging was when he would disappear on me. That was the most challenging because I didn't have no understanding, right? How you have been. That's good. Yeah, Golden, we ain't sent you in a while, Golden. But it's very challenging, right, to be with somebody that you really want to be with, and then they disappear on you, right? And my ex would he would pull all kind of tricks out the bag. He might give me some money and then disappear. He might, which he did quite often, right? Me, Angel, get a new job? No, I didn't get a new job. They just gave me the hours that I wanted and the shift that I wanted. So now I'm able to, because let me tell y'all let me tell y'all, you got to listen to the signs. A lot of times we force ourselves to do some shit and then it be wrong because God done tried to not make us do it and we're going to do it anyway. So let me tell y'all, I had asked for a transfer to another location, right? It was going to be much harder work. How I thought I was going to do that shit, I don't know. But my focus was I need a car. I have not had a car in 30 years, right? So I need a car, right? I want to, just do some stuff for myself, right? Like grown people do. And now that the book is done, I was like, I don't need all that time anymore. And I had another income while I was doing that. I don't have that anymore, right? So I was like, okay, I need to work. I need to do some shit, right? So I applied for a transfer. Now, they was going to work the shit out of me, but I was only going to work 4 days, 10 hours a day, right? I didn't really want to go because I didn't created my group of friends here where I'm at, and I just didn't want to do that. I wanted them to give me the schedule that I wanted so I wouldn't have to do that. And they did that, Angel. I found that out. I closed mouth don't get fed. I asked Thursday, and when I didn't go to, did I go to work Friday? I don't know. I don't think I went to work Friday. When I went back Saturday, they had done it, right? And so I got the shift that I wanted. So I'm still able to maintain my YouTube schedule because that's important to me. A lot of people might say, well, shit, girl, with your job, all of it is important. And I'm trying to put it in perspective, right? Because I know YouTube is what I'm going to be doing when I stop working. So, and I got a platform, I got a book I'm going to come out. I need my platform, right? And I like y'all, Yes, Charmaine. So he did that. So, I had been praying to God all that. I'm talking about on my knees praying, right? Like, God, please do this. Do y'all know, after they told me, yeah, okay, we're going to do that, before they told me, yeah, we're going to do it, after I talked to them, I went to my app because I can do it through my app. Child, do y'all know when I applied to transfer, the time slot I asked for, I thought I was asking for 6:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Child, when I opened it up, the 6:30 p.m. jumped right out at me. 6:30 p.m. to 5 a.m. I was like, that's all wrong. God didn't want that to happen, right? He did not want that to happen. Plus, he didn't want it to happen. So it happened the way it was supposed to happen. So I said all that to say that sometimes you pray and just let God work it out. If you do what you're supposed to do, faith without works is dead, right? You got to do what you got to do, pray, and then let him handle it. And that showed what he did, y'all. That is show what he did. And you know, when the man told me, when the HR guy told me, I was in a meeting, and when he told me, I said, "Can I give you a hug?" He's a little bitty white dude, you know. I said, "Can I give you a hug?" He was like, "Sure," because I wanted him to feel how much I appreciated what they did for me, because they didn't have to do that, right? But again, closed mouth don't get fed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. God is good. Putting it up, falling in place together, making it eat. Yeah, you know what? And then for my cousin I told y'all what happened last weekend or whatever it was, my birthday. And then for me to be trying to figure out my budget so I can get me a car, my cousin said, "Hey, my cousin got a car, and I thought about you." And I didn't tell you what my cousin said when I called him. He said, "Oh yeah," he said, "the family discount is this." And then he said to me, he said, "Pray on it." You know, we come from a praying family. He said, "Pray on it and get back with me." That's what I'm going to do. You know, after I talk to my cousin today and see if we can figure out some finances, that's what it's going to be, right? So I'm like, you know, especially after she said my aunt, who is no longer here, told her, help. Did I tell y'all that part? My aunt told her, help her. She said she heard her play this day in her voice, help her, right? And I had just told my cousin the other day, I said, I talked to my aunts. They're no longer here, but I do talk to them. You know, sometimes I talk to them. When shit get funky like it is, I talk to them, right? And so evidently they heard me, right? So it's like, ain't that it? Look at God, girl. Listen, that's why I don't do no wrong. My sister-in-law in here, she know I've been a motherfucker through my lifetime, right? But I'm sure she's seen the transition, you know. And you know, I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I ain't never tried to hurt nobody, but I would play with some men's though. That's why God ain't gave me my man, right? Because I did do that, you know, I did do that. But yeah, so I'm doing the best I can, y'all. I'm so proud of, let me see. Oh, okay. I'm so proud of my ability to get the StreamYard and to make it work. Such a blessing. There's no limit to what God can do. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? And I just told my friend, let me tell y'all something. I was at work yesterday and I told my girlfriend, I said, I expect God to work miraculously and supernaturally for me, because that's what he's been doing. This is the conversation I had with her yesterday, right? One of the best and original says, yes, thank you, Shire. We done all did some stuff. God show up anyways. That's how he is. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Woo, y'all don't make me start testifying. And did I tell y'all this? I found me a church. Now listen here. Listen here, y'all. Let me tell y'all this. So if y'all can cash at me, because I ain't got paid yet, right? So y'all know I've been looking for a church. So I got to tell y'all the story before I go, because this is how God do things, right? So I've been looking for me a church. So I'm laying in the bed. That's when I do my best work, when I'm laying in the bed, right? That's when all the thoughts come. And I Googled a Baptist church or something, you know, I don't think I said near me. I might have just said Charlotte, right? And I started looking at the different churches. Now, when I look at the church, I go on their website, I look at their pictures, then I go to YouTube, see if I like them. That's my process, right? Well, I found a church, Ebenezer. Can't go wrong with Ebenezer, I thought, right? So I look at and I need a church. A lot of churches are getting away from me, but I need a choir stand. Y'all know all the stuff I need, a pulpit. I need all that. I'm old school. So they had all that. And they were singing the songs, right? I was like, ooh, okay. Now, I done figured out I'm going to go there. I done figured out where it is, how much it's going to cost in an Uber if I go. And yesterday was my last Sunday working. I said, I'm going to church next Sunday. I'm going to catch an Uber. And I'm going. Now, the Uber is $15 one way, $15 the other, but I'm going to catch an Uber. So if y'all can cash out me $30, please do. I'm going to church, right? So this is before I knew about the car, right? So I need every penny. So y'all cash at me. So I go to work yesterday and I tell my friend, we have, you know, different friends, you have different conversations. This is my friend whose cousin is John P. Key, and we always talk about church stuff and stuff, right? And I said, well, I think I done found me a church. And I told her the name. She said, oh, I used to sing with them. And my friend was a member and they let me sing. I said, well, how you sing in that choir? You weren't a member. That don't usually happen. She said, because the church choir had went out of town. The pastor was something. But she was very, very familiar with the church. And she said, you will like it. It's just what you want. You will like it. And I said, what is the coincidence of all the churches in Charlotte? And me and my friend been talking about churches. She said, Jackie, you ain't going to find what you're looking for. I said, yes, I am. I'm going to find it, right? That is the church she's already affiliated with. Look at God on that. I said, so you know what that was? I told my friend, I said, you know what this is? That's confirmation. That's where I'm going. So I immediately prepared myself. And when I got home, I said, well, let me see how much the Uber going to be so I can go to church. I'm going to church Sunday, y'all. I ain't been to church in 6 months. I am going to church Sunday. You hear me? Yes. I got Zelle. I got Zelle, sis. I got Zelle. I ain't got my iPhone no more because they stole it out my car in Atlanta. So I got 2 Androids. But I do have Zelle, though. I do have Zelle, sis. Yeah, so I am so happy that I'm going to church Sunday, y'all. And I know that might not seem like a lot, but for me, it's a big deal. I love me some church, and I ain't been since I moved back to Charlotte. I have not been to church because I didn't have no car. So I am going to church. Okay, thank you, sis. I am going to church Sunday, and I'm so excited, y'all. I don't know what to do. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do. So anyway, y'all, I can go on and on and on. I ain't ate none today because I've been busy preparing and trying to get my little situation together. Thank y'all. I'm going to see y'all tonight at 8 o'clock, tomorrow at noon. Remember, I'm going to try to do this every day. Now, some days, y'all know, because I'm a Pisces, I might be in a funky kind of mood, I'm going to lay right here in the bed kind of mood. I might be. I doubt it, but I might be because I have to go to work every day. So I'm going to put my clothes on anyway, right? So you understand? So I'm going to try my best because if you want something, you have to work at it, right? I want my channel to continue to grow. My channel is growing, but my views on my live, that's what I'm trying to build up on. So I'm just going to do it. And some days I might not be looking my best. Some days I might not be looking my best. When I did my live with the members, I was looking a hot ass mess. But it was just us, right? So yeah. Thank you. You ain't never left. See, let me tell you something about me. In case you don't know, in case you ain't never heard, I don't never lose friendship with people. I don't lose kinship with people. Now, I might not talk to you for a long time. That don't mean shit. I'm still loving you and I'm still praying for you, right? That's just it. So you once a member of the Jack Squad, always a member of the Jack Squad, unless you do some fuck shit. If you do some fuck shit, then I got my shooters out there. Right? But once a member of the Jack Squad, always a member of the Jack Squad. We family, right? So anyway, y'all, I'm going to go make me something to eat. I got my eye doctor appointment tomorrow. Oh, y'all, I can't go live at noon tomorrow. I got my eye doctor appointment. I forgot. But Wednesday, I'll see y'all at noon. But at 8 o'clock, I'll be on. Yeah, I got my eye doctor appointment tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So, not tomorrow at noon, but all the other days, y'all. So anyway, Jack Squad, sister-in-law, I love you. I love all y'all. I will see y'all tonight at 8. I'm going to eat now. Bye-bye.